then how do we love others? If this is what love looks like, if we're to love God with everything that we have, well then how are we to love others? And I think there's two areas. I think there's two ways that we can express this love. First way, I think, is service. I think service to others, having an open-handed posture to others, helps to demonstrate love for other people. What I've learned over the years is when I am, and I say when because it does happen, when I'm in hot water, candy and service. Those are the secrets. Bring some candy. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Load the dishwasher. That helps. Clean the toilet. That's like, service is a way that I can demonstrate that I love my wife, that I can demonstrate. It's a practical way to say, you know what? I love you. It's saying, hey, I'm not putting Austin first, I'm putting you first. When I made a decision to follow Jesus, as I was being discipled, what I came to learn was, you'd lived your life, Austin, putting yourself first for 18 years. Well, now you put Jesus first. And not only do you put Jesus, not only is it Jesus, it's now others, and then it's you. That was a bit humbling because I want to be first. That's how I'd spent 18 years of my life. Then when I got married, wait a second. It was Jesus, Marilyn, others, then Austin? Well, I'm going down the list. This is not the way it's supposed to go. What's happening? What? Let alone have kids. Oh my goodness. It was Jesus, Marilyn, kids, others, Austin? Like, this is going in the wrong direction, guys. This is not, wait. And what it helps, when I think of service, what it helps is because I have a tendency, it could just be me, but I have a tendency to want to climb back up the ladder of priority. Where I find the friction is where I'm trying to put myself above others, where I'm trying to put myself above my kids, above my wife, even say above Jesus. That's where the friction comes in, and what service does is it helps me to keep my priorities straight. When I'm serving others, I've lovingly, as a follower of Jesus, I've lovingly submitted to Jesus. I said, I've given you my rights. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to put you first. Then he says, okay, follow me. Love people. Put them first. So it helps to reorder me. It helps me to keep things straight. Because I need, like I said, I have some growth areas. I need that reminder. I need to continue in my growth to love others. And when I'm serving others, practical, sometimes it's just very practical ways of serving. Sometimes it's just a smile on the subway. There's so many people that you walk through Toronto, you're in places where people don't even acknowledge each other. Sometimes that's just a simple way of recognizing and holding a door. There are so many things that we can do that are just simple acts of service to each other. And it helps me to reprioritize where I stand. It's actually a lot lower than I want to admit. It's kind of humbling to say that in front of you because now you're going to say, hey, remember when you're, oh boy. But then what happens is we live life with each other, as we're serving each other, as we're following Jesus, something else happens. And I talked about a little bit of that friction of where I try to climb back up. And there are moments where we have moments of friction. And I think a way that we can love others is in those moments, then we extend forgiveness. We hear about it a lot. We understand what he teaches us about forgiveness. How can we not forgive all that we've been forgiven? How can we not extend that forgiveness to each other? But then, let's be honest, there's the reality of doing life with others. When we've been hurt, when we've been offended, oftentimes we can be more concerned with being right than reconciling. Marilyn and I were more concerned with being right. We did come to a moment of reconciling, but this is the tension that we have to live in. And a way that we can express love for each other is being open-handed with service, but then being those followers of Jesus who are quick to forgive. Now, I share, we have, at Danforth, we have a Wednesday night group. And I'm looking forward to our Wednesday morning group here. And I share with them, I like to read a lot. So if you hear me, I'm usually quoting something that I've read. There's a gentleman, Scott McKnight, and he helps to explain forgiveness. And he kind of has two different ways. He talks about, like, there's reconciliation, okay? Offended parties, they come together, they choose to forgive. There's this elimination of offense in the relationship. They come together, they have this opportunity to reconcile, and it happens where it's safe, where it's healthy. They have this opportunity to forgive, they move forward, and I'm glad that Marilyn and I took that opportunity, and that a few days later, probably finally came back and was like, okay, what did I do? And we took this opportunity to reconcile, and it was safe, and we were able to move forward in the relationship. But I like how Scott McKnight, he also says there's another forgiveness that happens. When it's not safe, it may not be healthy. Potentially the person you may not be able to reconcile with them for any number of reasons. And he says what we do in that moment is we choose the act of forgiveness. You're wanting to forgive, there's this moment you choose to forgive, and you end that internal struggle. You end that cycle of replaying the offense in your mind. This includes there's a disposition to forgive, and then there's this experience of forgiving and that releasing of anger and that resentment and ending that internal recycling of the offense. And when we're doing that, when we have this posture of service to others, when we understand where we are in the order of things, and then as we're doing life with others, when we have this posture where we're easily forgiving others, what an incredible thing that happens. We're demonstrating God's love for other people. Again, there's this gentleman, Timothy Gombis, and he says, here's what forgiveness does. Forgiveness creates an alternative reality. Those who forgive unleash a flow of love for others. The wonder of life within the kingdom of God is that forgiveness creates a new situation in which God reconfigures the relationship by grace, so that it is no longer ensnared within the corrosive dynamics of the present evil age. God's love and life-giving joy are now unleashed to alter the relationship between the two parties, so that they can experience each other as liberated siblings in God's one new family and enjoy the rich gifts they've been given to each other. So forgiveness is not sentimental, it's hard work. But the rich rewards we can enjoy are infinitely worth the effort. I think how incredible that is, that forgiveness releases love. That's what we're presented when we have these moments of friction, when we have hurt and offense. And again, it is within safety, and there's good boundaries for this, but it releases a flow of love for others. So when asked the question, that one question, which command is the greatest? Can you pick out of these 613? Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. He's saying, listen to God, wholly love God, and to love one's neighbor as yourself is the entirety of what the God of Israel wants from us. It's very basic. It's kind of the ABCs for us. These two are linked to each other. So then we're presented with an opportunity. How can we grow in our love for God and for others?